Hey guys, Ashley here. Today I wanted to bring you a first impressions video. I'm actually not even sure that I've done any of these on my channel yet, but recently I'm sure that you've seen Wet n Wild has come out with a lot of new products for their line, and I did happen to pick up a few things. So I'm going to do a separate video. I don't know which is going to go up first, this one or that one, but I'm going to do a separate video about the liquid lipsticks that I picked up from Wet n Wild, but I also grabbed the Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation. I picked it up in shade Soft Ivory. But anyways, I'm not a user of Wet n Wild foundations. In the past, I don't really think that they were that great, but I am a big fan of Wet n Wild as far as like their eye products and lip products go. So I've heard great things about this and I really wanted to give it a try for myself, and I figured I might as well let you guys know since a couple of people actually requested that I tell them what they think about this foundation before they go ahead and try it out. So I'm gonna go about applying it the same way that I would any regular day because I don't want to do anything different. That way I might end up getting a different, that way I don't end up with like a different opinion of it. So I want to apply it the same way I would apply any foundation in the process that I would. So we're not gonna go ahead and do anything unique. So I'm gonna apply the foundation with you guys on camera, and then I'm gonna finish my face the way that I normally would, and I'm gonna let you guys know what I think about it. First, I'm just gonna go ahead and get my hair out of my way so that we can do this. So I'm just gonna clip my hair back. So for starters, I very much like this packaging. I'm surprised that Wet n Wild is really jumping into this way, because in the past all of their foundations have kind of just been in like a plastic squeezy tube. Some people like that because I know that it is travel friendly, but it says that it has been tested under 7 light conditions with top smartphone models and with and without a flash. So it's supposed to look nice in all of those situations. I guess that's why they call it the Photofocus. And it also does state here on the bottle that it is cruelty-free. So for those of you who are very into making sure that you're using all cruelty-free products, that's really nice to know that they are cruelty-free. So we're just gonna go ahead. Oh, I was not expecting that. I haven't even opened this yet, and I was not expecting it to be like a spatula. Now this reminds me of my Marc Jacobs foundation, which has like an applicator like this, which I personally like it, but some people don't like this because they think it's unsanitary because you're touching your face and putting the bacteria back into the bottle. I don't mind this, especially because I'm only using it on myself. I'm not going to be using this on other people. But anyways, so we're just going to go ahead and apply this. So I'm just going to get it on my face. Interesting, because this spatula is plastic. Now that I've wiped off the product from it, it's plastic. Which my Marc Jacobs one is like metal, but obviously that foundation is much more expensive. So normally when I apply my foundation, I use my beauty blender. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take my beauty blender and start blending this in. Okay, so first application, it's definitely not full coverage, but I would say that it's medium coverage because it did cover up some of my redness. It didn't totally cover up my dark circles, but honestly nothing ever does. But it still has a little bit of sheerness so that you can see through to my skin. I do think it grabbed a little bit to some of my dry patches. I'm just gonna go ahead and tap on a little bit more in the areas where I could use a little extra coverage. Around my nose, because I can still see some of the redness around my nose. Okay, so that's typically how I would apply my foundation. The color definitely matches my skin tone. I'm super pale right now and I have not been self-tanning. I honestly just gave up on that this winter. I will start self-tanning again probably when spring and summer kicks in. But yeah, the color is a really good match. So far, first impression, I'd have to say it's decent and I'm shocked for the price. Like, I definitely much prefer it over the foundations that Wet n Wild has had in the past. But at the same time, I have to say, while I think it's really good, and especially for the price, it's not my favorite foundation. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's my favorite foundation because I do feel like I get a little bit of a nicer finish from my Maybelline Fit Me foundation, which is not like that much more expensive than this, but if you are on a tight budget, this is obviously like a good option. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and finish my face the way that I normally would wear my makeup, and we will come back and I will show you what it looks like. So just so you guys know, I went with my typical routine with, so I topped my face with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish as my setting powder. I used my It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer. I used my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and then I went in with my Jaclyn Hill palette for blush, highlight, etc. because that's kind of like my everyday-ish makeup routine. So I wanted to keep it very basic so that I know the performance of this foundation and it would be a process that I'm super familiar with. Just looking at everything, I feel like it looks nice, like from afar. I don't really know if you can tell on camera, but here's my overall feelings. So I think that if you have dry skin, this will not work for you. I have kind of like combo, so I'm a little dry in some areas and then I'm like kind of normal in other areas, but I think that it definitely clung to some of my dry patches. So I don't know if you can really see, like right in here I'm a little bit dry and I just feel like it kind of clung to some of my dry patches. So which I can see that more in person and like right in here, which I don't have that problem when I use my Maybelline Fit Me foundation. So while I do think that it's decent and it's good coverage and everything for the price, I just feel like in the end, if I had to tell you to go to the store and pick up a drugstore foundation, what one would I recommend? I would still recommend my Maybelline Fit Me foundation. And the good thing with that is whether you have dry or oily skin, combo, normal, whatever, they do have the two formulas and you can choose between them. So, I mean, I wouldn't be like, hurry up, run and get this. Which kind of sucks that I feel that way because I feel like everybody else, I feel like people were kind of like raving about it. But like I said, I think it's a good foundation and it's definitely a great price, but I wouldn't rave about it and tell somebody like, yeah, you need to go buy this Wet n Wild foundation. So that's my final review on it. I just wanted to be honest with you guys and let you know what I think so that it's helpful, so that now you can decide if you want to buy it and give it a try or not. But you know what? Different things work for different people, so I might not absolutely be obsessed with it or love it, but it could work for other people. So we all have different skin. You just gotta kind of give things a try and decide for yourself how you feel about them. But for those of you who can't just be going around trying a bunch of different foundations all the time, hopefully this review was helpful. So that's all I have to say for today, guys, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye!